Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast. It is Valentine's Day, and we have a podcast you're going to love today. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Delmendo, and live from Sloan Park in Arizona, the company man, Mr. Ryan Herrera, wearing the CHGO Pins and Aces polo.
Company man.
Woo,
Credit to him. Credit to him.
Hey, speaking of company men, there he is. Cody Delmendo's got the new Bring Sammy Home hoodie. It's time. Available at ALLCITY.com. Make sure you check out our sick drip there. Dope merch.
It's super comfortable, man.
It is very soft. And yet there's some depth to the fabric. If I don't say so myself. It looks like a warm one.
It's a little, it's kind of chilly here in Chicago. However, it's like in the 40s today, but I felt comfortable coming in here.
Should I see what Ryan has again? You want me to look up what Ryan's living in?
Well, he's
right
not
now?
in the hoodie today, so at least we can't call him soft.
No, can't call him soft.
I took it off before I got on the show, so you guys couldn't see it.
He couldn't take the slander.
Ryan, 69 degrees.
degrees.
69 degrees.
Nice.
Very
People
nice.
are saying that's nice.
Compared to the 45 we have here, it's very, very nice.
At least the sun's out.
I can't believe you're complaining about 45 degrees in February in Chicago right now.
Says the man wearing a polo at work right now outside.
Yeah.
Anyways,
you're complaining about it.
Don't get us started about this. At least Cody's going to Arizona. He's going to feel it. Buy your Valentine a Die Hard membership. That's the gift of love. You know, they're all expecting something nice, but they're not expecting that Die Hard membership, and that's going to take things over the top. You can get them at allchgo.com. Arnold is the newest Die Hard.
Arnold.
Thank you, Arnold.
Sounds like a Cubs fan.
He's a good neighbor.
There you go.
Did you like that Super Bowl ad with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
I'm hearing neighbor. That's what I said, neighbor. Anyway, I thought it was pretty good.
Rich in the chat says he saw Ryan earlier not wearing the hoodie. So Rich is doubling down on Ryan not being soft today.
Not soft.
Rich is a good guy. Rich only says facts, and it's not FAX. It's FACTS, facts.
Wow. There it is. Listen, here's a fact. Today was the first day of pitchers and catchers reporting officially to Sloan Park in Arizona. Is there anything you could love more than baseball beginning on Valentine's Day? It happens every couple years. It starts out there on Valentine's Day. Ryan, just what was the general mood, vibe? How did it feel on the first day out there?
I think it's like what you would generally expect. Like, everyone's excited to be out here. Obviously, guys have been here for a while, but first official report day, we get to talk to Jed and Carter and Craig for the first time. The general vibe is at least, what these guys are saying is they're excited to get going. A lot of these guys are motivated by what happened at the end of the season last year and have been motivated throughout the offseason. That's why so many have kind of been here for so long already this offseason. But, the general vibe is that a lot of these guys are confident in what they have. And while, no one's denying that they want someone like Cody Bellinger back, right? No one's denying that kind of stuff, but a lot of these guys are confident in what they have here, whether that's the guys that were already on the team last year that kind of helped them get near a playoff spot, and a lot of the young talent that we know when we talk about the farm system is there, and it's starting to reach those upper levels of the system. It's a lot of, confidence, but I also wouldn't expect any different from a lot of these guys or from any of these guys. I wouldn't expect them to go into the spring training not confident in what they have around them.
Well, you kind of mentioned two things. One is Bellinger, which we'll talk about in a little bit and probably a lot in the podcast. But number two, you talked about the young guys, and that was sort of a theme in these press conferences. So today, correct me if I'm wrong, Jed Hoyer, Carter Hawkins, Craig Counsell, all three spoke at a table, right? And so I'm starting to wonder as we sit and wait for Bellinger, the Boris guys, and other free agents. It's not like those are the only four free agents out there. There are a lot of guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not that he plays into the Cubs. Even Tim Anderson doesn't have a team yet, right?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of players out there that don't have a home, and pitchers and catchers are reporting. So it does sort of feel like it's possible that the Cubs are at least saying to themselves, listen, if we're going to get from point B to point A this year, which would be a playoff appearance, we are counting heavily, at least at the moment, because, yes, you've signed Imanaga and you've signed Hector Neris and a couple other moves. You made a trade. but we are going to count heavily on the development of some of our young guys. Is that fair to say? I know Jed spoke on that, Ryan.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the theme, and I, going back through the quotes, like Jed and Craig Counsell both kind of said the same thing of that young players. This is me paraphrasing, of course, but like young players and building up the young guys and having them impact the team is what the game is today. They both kind of said it in the same way, that they need the young guys to step up and be impactful, whether they go out and get someone else on the free agent market or not. And which they can, right? Like that's something that Jed talked about too, is that they're still talking to free agents, but that the guys they have in house, young players, are important to the team, important to the game right now. And so that's when we talk about the farm system the Cubs have. It's like universally considered a top 2, top 3 farm system. Having guys that can impact the roster coming from your own system is huge. So that was young players was a theme of that whole press conference for sure.
Okay. Barb, the godmother of CHGO Cubs Podcast, is not listening close enough today. Barb, I clearly said, no, Tim Anderson obviously does not fit into the Cubs' plans. I was just pointing out that there's other big names out there, right? There's other players that are available besides the 4. A Godfather, Michael Collada says, in other words, try and win on the cheap. Now, we do have some sound bites that Ryan got for us right there at Sloan Park. So let's start with that first soundbite, Sarah, who's running the 1s and 2s for us today. The soundbite from Jed talking about the excitement for having young guys in camp.
Jed, every time we've talked to Pete since the season ended, he doesn't seem very worried about when his next opportunity is going to come at the big league level. Just what is he mentions wanting to bring Belly back, or he talks about Mike Talkman even potentially being there. What does that kind of tell you about who he is as a person outside of just a player on the field?
Yeah. I think I've mentioned this. I sat down with him at the end of the season in Milwaukee. We were up there and we had a great conversation at the end of the season, and we talked about how I think what happened when he came up, I think it's going to be the best thing that ever happened in his career. I think that having some struggles, learning at the big league level, I think is something he needed. And I know he worked unbelievably hard this winter. He was here in the complex almost every day, hitting with Dustin Kelly, making some adjustments that he knows he needs to make. I think he's in a great mental space. He looks great physically. He's been working on his swing, and he's a good teammate. I think he wants the Cubs to win. I think he knows he's a really good player. I think he knows he can help us win baseball games, and he wants other people around here that can help us win games too. So the fact that he's so open about that, I think, kind of says a lot about his character. And I'm super proud of what he did this winter.
So Pete Crow Armstrong might be one of those young players that they're certainly counting on more than others. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be there on opening day, but if Pete Crow Armstrong doesn't have an impact on the 2024 Cubs, something went wrong.
There'd be a lot that went wrong if PCA doesn't, help this team win. Guys like Ryan got to talk to PCA today as well. I saw Marquis tweet out a clip of him talking about Bellinger. And he just seems like he's, kind of goes to what Jed was saying about PCA in Arizona this winter. He's a good teammate. He wants Bellinger to be here too. And I still think that this team can exist with both those guys on this roster. But, for PCA himself, you love to hear that he's been in Arizona all winter working on a swing, like he said, with Dustin Kelly, something honestly we've known since I think Jared Banner went on The Score back in December and said that he's been out there. Obviously, the defense makes him a really valuable player anyway, but, I think a lot of fans want to know if this guy's going to be able to hit at the major league level. That's a big question. When you look at this roster right now, there's a lot of questions. It certainly could be better than 80 wins. It certainly could be worse than 80 wins. That's, like, at this point, if we're going into 2024 with this roster, I mean, let's just be straight with it, man. Like, that is what feels like the risk. That said, Jed also talked a lot about, they think they have some guys who have established themselves. He mentioned Justin Steele. He mentioned Nico Horner as guys who have established themselves as major league players now. You're not like wondering what you're going to get out of those guys. So, in relation to young players and stuff, yeah, the Cubs have a lot of them, and they're gonna definitely need a guy like PCA to be one of those young guys that came into last year and then kind of like took control of his own destiny and become a solid major leaguer.
So, I mean, Ryan, we heard, or we were talking about the fact that Jed basically said he's more excited this year going into spring training because of all the young guys that are there, right? But you got to play those young guys. And that was one of the knocks on David Ross. Do you think that the young guys will get more playing time under Craig Counsell than they did with David Ross?
Yeah, and I think there was a different situation, obviously, with it being in September, and I know everyone hated the whole got to go with the guys that got us here kind of thing. But in a way, it's like it's hard to trust guys who have no major league experience to help you win ball games. So there was definitely a different situation. But I will say, you look at Craig Counsell's track record, a lot of the Brewers' top prospects were getting everyday playing time in there, and whether that was because he was putting them in there, willingly, or because they needed someone to fill the holes on the roster. Craig Counsell does play a lot of those young guys, and you've seen it up in Milwaukee over the years. So, yeah, I'd say we can definitely see, whether it's Pete Crow Armstrong, who may not even start the season on the major league roster, or it's Michael Busch, who we expect to be getting a lot of opportunities early on at first base, or whoever it is. I do think you can expect to see some of those young guys that maybe didn't get a lot of run at the end of the last season. Would definitely see them get more of an opportunity this time around, especially at the start of the season.
Sarah, do you have the soundbite that Ryan got of Craig Counsell talking about young players in general? All right, let's play that if we have it for a chance. Ryan got this. This is manager Craig Counsell on young players on the Cubs roster.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strength of the organization right now, and it is the best part of this camp right now. There's a number of young players, one that are already here but still have growth. They have growth as big leaguers left, and then there's a big group, and I put PCA in that group, that are that these are important camps because of just their exposure to a bunch of major league players. They're looking to make the next step, and our job is to help them take the next step. And it's usually a messy process a little bit, but it's really fun. And in the end, you look back on players that I think as coaches and as managers that you got to have from day one, and you're so proud of those guys, right? Because you take the journey, kind of that major league journey with them for a long time. And that's really rewarding and really exciting. And it is the game today. We have to have those players. So that we have so many of them in this camp is a great place to start.
And I don't disagree with what DFW Susie is saying in the live YouTube chat, which is the best way to enjoy the CHGO experience. Make sure you sign up for the CHGO Sports YouTube page.
Subscribe.
Sorry, wrong word. So that you can not miss any live shows. Make sure you jump in and join in the live YouTube chat. I don't disagree with what she's saying, that we didn't learn a whole lot out of these press conferences today. But that little bit of the soundbite right there, where Craig Counsell's basically saying that is the game today. You've got to have that influx of young players. Mm-hmm. Cody, you were a guy, like a lot of people during the parts of last season, that were like, last two seasons, why aren't you playing this guy? Do you think that will be changed this year?
Well, yeah. Obviously, with what the roster is at this point, there's no Trey Mancini, there's no Eric Hosmer, there's no Tucker Barnhart, so you're going to get a full dose of Miguel Amaya outside of Yan Gomes. Busch is going to play first /DH. Morel, it will be shocking if Morel isn't on the roster opening day. It would, some crazy shit would have happened. He's going to be on the opening day roster.
Unless he's traded.
Yeah, unless he's traded, or if he gets hurt, knocking on all the wood.
Come on. Why would you even put that into the universe?
Well, you just put it in the universe.
I didn't. I only knocked all. That's all I did.
So Morel's going to be on the opening day roster. Obviously, Nico, still young. He's young. They have a ton of young guys, but in terms of you want to talk about prospects, Canario, I still don't know how they're going to play him, and I still think they should trade him for something. But at this point, if we're going to talk about what we have right now, he's young. He's either going to play corner outfield, center field /DH, I guess. I don't know how you're going to get the at bats for him. Maybe he goes to AAA, and that he's blocked. He's literally blocked right now. Canario is. I don't see how he is on this roster, to be honest with
Well,
you.
he's really blocked if you end up signing Bellinger.
For sure.
6 years.
And honestly, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too.
Right? Okay. PCA, obviously. Barb, you say in the chat every day that PCA should start the year in the minors. I agree too. But eventually he will be up here, right? The list goes on. Matt Shaw, Owen Casey.
The young pitchers.
Will Caleb Killian, if anyone has any hope left for him, Matt Mervis, where's he going to play? They have a ton of young dudes, some that are highly touted still, and some that fans have already given up on. And, that's, I don't know, that's his job. He managed it really well with Milwaukee, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt in terms of how he's going to fit some of these guys in and out. But yeah, there's no possible way that he's going to be like David Ross because Jed Hoyer hasn't put him in position to be like David Ross.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking for young players and asking them, are they excited going into this season? They should be because of Craig Counsell's track record, as Ryan was saying, about playing young players, but also the situation has changed, right? The young players should be 2 years closer to being ready to be major leaguers. Now it's sort of on them in some way, Ryan, for those guys to take that step this spring and show the Cubs, I'm ready to grab it.
Yeah, and that's, again, referring to guys like Pete Crow Armstrong, right? A guy that got a little bit of run in September last year, but not a whole lot, and just it looked like he struggled even in the opportunities he did get. So, again, we've talked about him. I don't know. A lot of it does depend on Cody Bellinger, but he, talking to Pete Crow Armstrong actually today, the whole conversation is Cody Bellinger could potentially affect your own opportunities this year. And he was quick to point out, Mike Tauchman's still on the roster and did pretty well last year too in Bellinger's place. And he could be a guy that man center field while Pete Crow Armstrong is in AAA or so. But yeah, so guys like that that maybe just haven't proven a whole lot at the major league level and the opportunities they got. It's on them to kind of show the big league coaches or show the front office that they can be counted upon as reliable people, whether that's, Pete Crow Armstrong, Brennan Davis, right? Show he's healthy and can get to, maybe I would doubt he starts the season on the opening day roster, but can he go and hit the ground running in AAA and prove he's healthy and get a shot, right? Ben Brown, who's someone we thought might debut at some point last year, can he show that he's healthy and effective and can be out there? So, that's there's a bunch of guys in spring training right now with the Cubs that have something to prove, and it's, like you said, it's on them to kind of show that they can grab that opportunity and run with it.
Now, Ryan is back in TV. What they like to call is a one-man band. He's shooting his own videos. He's giving on-air reports. He's writing his articles. I like to call it a one-man wrecking crew. Now, he got it's not exclusive video because there were some other cameras there, but he got us a shot. I've seen Imanaga throw now. I've seen the video. I've seen Shota Imanaga throw a baseball. What can I tell from that, Ryan? I don't know. Were you impressed with your eyes when you saw it? We're going to play the video. You posted on, was it his Instagram? Is that where I saw that today? On his Twitter.
Yeah, I was on my X, formerly known as Twitter, right?
I'm sorry. Excuse me. It was on his X. He posted it on X. So if you want to see it, you can also see it there if you're listening to this and not watching the live feed. So we've seen Imanaga throw a baseball. Was there any buzz about it? Were other players talking about it?
So there's buzz around it, and obviously they have a large contingent of media was there watching. Look, it's from our vantage point, we're all the way across the bullpen. It's hard to really see any movement, but you listen to any movement or the stuff or whatever. But you listen to his teammates like Justin Steele talking about how I think he tweeted it out the other day, he watched Imanaga's bullpen last week or something and was impressed. And Adam Brazilli talks about it, and all these guys are talking about seeing him, seeing his stuff. Tommy Hotovy we talked to today as well, impressed with what Imanaga was able to do first time out on the mound, at least in front of us, right? So yeah, again, from my vantage point, it can't really get a good view of what's going on over there, but you listen to the teammates, the coaches talk about it, and they're really impressed with what he's got. They're really impressed, even though he's not, this high velocity type of guy. That's the stuff that he brings is a very valuable asset to this Cubs rotation.
So in addition to players like you mentioned, I've seen the Steele tweets and maybe some oohs and ahs out at camp today, you know, from some people when he's thrown. Mostly that was Ryan, but I didn't want to say that. We also had Carter Hawkins, Cubs general manager, talking about Imanaga. You'd have to say at the moment he's the biggest addition to the team this offseason, right? Like if you're talking about who they've added, he's not the most proven. I still say that's Neris. Most proven at the major league level is Hector Neris. But the biggest addition right now to the Cubs team this offseason, until Bush hits 30 home runs, he's a prospect. I would say Imanaga is the biggest name that they have added to the roster so far. Let's hear what Carter Hawkins had to say about him.
We all struck by just how outgoing he's been. I think obviously there's different personalities and different people, and kind of the juxtaposition of him versus Seiya. It's been interesting. He's definitely kind of been the life of the clubhouse to some extent early on, and I think that'll be good for both Seiya and Shota to have that partnership. But I think for us, it's really about trying to throttle him down a little bit early in camp. I think everyone comes into a new environment and wants to do a little bit more than everyone thinks that they're going to do. And for someone like Shota that we're going to have for 162 games and more after that, and then for several years after that, making sure that we're not doing anything right now that's going to hurt us in September or October.
What do you guys think would be a successful season for him?
For Imanaga?
For Imanaga, Ryan, let Cody think on it for a second. What would you say would be successful for his first season in the majors? Because we saw Seiya kind of go through, and we were talking rookie of the year, 40 bombs. What would be, transitioning to Major League Baseball, what would be a good season for him?
Well, I mean, the results obviously matter, but I think just a baseline good season for him is like making 27, 28 starts or more, right? Like being healthy the whole year and making a majority of starts, because we talk about it with Imanaga that coming from Japan, they don't, I want to say it's an extra day of rest. Like they have like a 6-man rotations or whatever. They don't pitch as much as, or at least as often as as pitchers in Major League Baseball go. So that might be a challenge. That might be something the Cubs have to work with him at. Keep track of how he's feeling. Keep track of, just how he's feeling on a daily basis, on days of his starts, that kind of stuff. So I think just as a baseline, having Imanaga out there and contributing to the team, once every 5 days for basically a majority of the season. We talked about like with Justin Steele last year. I want to say he made 30 starts last year, was very close to that 180 inning limit, and he only spent one minimum stint on the IL last year, and we call that, that was kind of Steele's breakout year. That was the top 5 Cy Young, and obviously he had great results on top of the health, but I think as a baseline, we looked at it like the fact that he was able to get through the whole season for the first time is a very good building block for the rest of his career going forward. And so I think for Imanaga, I think that's something that I'm looking at is, can he, how does he handle the grind of a major league season, the travel, the pitching every 5 days, all the kind of stuff that we've talked about with Seiya. How does Imanaga do the same thing? And that's something I'm going to be looking for as far as like, again, the results are going to matter too, but how does he get through this whole season, and is he there for him at the end of the year when they really need it?
Cody, how's the Cactus feel about that? I see the live YouTube chat. I've seen 9 wins, somebody said in there would be it, an ERA of 3. Well, to you, what would feel like a successful season for Imanaga?
If the K rate stays the same as it was in Japan. Because I think that's a big question coming into the season for the Cubs rotation in general. It's the same question as last year, at least as of right now. I mean, Cade Horton's going to be in this rotation at some point, and he'll bring some swing and miss. But as good as Justin Steele is, like, Ryan, I know you think he can be better. Will he bring that? But as far as Imanaga, after Justin Steele, like, I'm not asking Imanaga to be your second best guy in the rotation, but I think that could be his, ceiling for the year. His floor could be a 5-starter. I know some projection systems out there don't envision his first year with the Cubs to be very good. But again, you take those with a grain of salt because they're not always right, right? So for me, I just want to see if he can still strike out 30% of the batters he faces. And if he generates some swing and miss, the same type of swing and miss they generated in Japan, then hopefully the results come. But they definitely need more swing and miss in the rotation, and hopefully he's one of those guys providing it.
Matthew Gregory saying 12 wins and a 2.25 ERA. Let me tell you, if he meets those two,
those are high expectations, brother.
That's not just a good season. That would be a great season.
Yeah.
I was curious what you were going to say about rotation wise.
Yeah.
Right. Like if he can.
Yeah, I think he's
a number 2. It's been a great season.
Yeah. Number 2, number 3. What's the difference?
But are you disappointed if you get to the end of the season, say, he's your 5th best starter this season?
No, because he's not really expensive. Like, you got him on such a great deal, and it's if things don't work out to an extent, like it's not like you have him long term seriously either. So, to me, like the worst thing that could happen with him is if he's just hurt a lot. To me.
Yeah, like you don't get an answer.
Yeah, like when you don't have
then
an
it's
answer.
tougher.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So, to me,
so
like
I was right saying health. Basically, I was right saying him being healthy is a good season.
Credit to Ryan.
Credit to Ryan. Look, I've given you credit twice now.
Put it in the show. Credit to Ryan Herrera.
So yeah, I think realistically he's probably your 3rd or 4th best starter. But has a ceiling to be your 2nd best starter. But I think by the end of the year, Cade Horton will be the clear best, at least the 2nd best starter on the team based off what we know. By the end of the year. But
he's not rookie of the year.
Well, it depends on when he'll be up here, right? But at the same time, like it will depend on when he gets called up. Him not being invited to Major League Camp is significant.
Mm-hmm.
To me, kind of signals that maybe they want to limit his innings a little bit to start the year. We'll see how it goes or how things go as the year goes on. But as we sit here right now, I mean, I'm with Ryan in terms of just be healthy, but can you still generate the same type of stuff and results that you generate in Japan? And I don't expect all 30 starts to be elite, but I expect him to keep the Cubs in games. When we talked about Tyone last year and how like he would go like that first half he was bad. He like every 5th day he'd go out there and start. You never felt good with him out there, and that was because he never put the Cubs in position. He never gave the Cubs a chance to win because he struggled the first inning or two. With Imanaga, like I'm just hoping that even if he doesn't generate the same amount of swing and miss, I'm hoping that he at least is able to eat you innings.
Ryan, what if his starts were similar to the Ass Man? Right? Like some good outings. They're not like 8-inning outings, but he has some good outings, and then he has some where you're like, oh, right now I could see him in multiple roles, or that wasn't a great night, but then other days he shoves. Would that be okay with you? Inconsistency?
He's
Can't hear Ryan all of a sudden.
He's muted.
Can we hear Ryan? Is he there?
We got it.
Oh, he's back.
Can you
He's
hear me?
back.
All
Don't
right.
worry, everybody.
All
He's
right.
okay.
I was going to say, in a way, the fact that he's a rookie making the jump to Major League Baseball for the first time, you can kind of see that where that would come in. But I mean, I also think about with Assad's role last year, it was so inconsistent just because he was going in and out from starting to bullpen to long relief to whatever. And maybe that had its effect on him a little bit. For Imanaga, it's just, I want to see consistency for sure. I want to see him consistently go out and give him a chance to win. Like you said, it doesn't have to be 7-8 innings every night, but I would like to see them bring him in and him just like you're not having that feeling where you just don't know what he's going to give you. Like if he can just give you consistency, consistently good, and have them in position, or not always in position to win, but give them a chance. I mean, I think that's all. That's a lot. Maybe that's a lot to ask from him, but for a team that's bringing in someone that was a pretty big star in Japan to help, get them over the top and get them into the playoffs. I don't think that's too much to ask for him, right?
No, I think we should be expecting the floor to be some of Assad's really good starts. And I see Cubs comment section saying Assad did have some dominant 8 inning outings. That's what I'm saying. Like, inconsistent, sure. I'm not expecting every outing to be good, but I would expect this season, when I get done with it, to feel like, wow, that was better than what we even got out of Assad in basically year one last year. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Obviously, the storyline that we'll hit every day until it happens or doesn't happen or until somebody vomits on the show, Cody Bellinger, not there. So it's official now. The pitchers and catchers have reported. It feels like baseball is back. I know they haven't had their first full team workout. Bellinger is not part of the team. He's not part of any team right now. Let's hear what Ian Happ had to say about Cody Bellinger at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Cody's going through the process. He's going through the process. He's earned that. He's earned the right to be a free agent and go through the entire process. So, wherever he lands, it's going to be a good situation for him, and we're all rooting for him because we like him as a person.
Have you seen him since you got here? Have you talked to him? You say go through the process. It's pretty late in the process, but is this just part of the...
He's not the first guy.
Yeah.
He's not the first guy to go through it that way. There's plenty of guys that have gone late into spring training, late into February or March before they sign contracts. So that's, the way the market's shaped up this year. It's the way that these guys are going through it. And, for them, that's the way they've chosen to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So, we haven't heard any player say anything even remotely, frustrated about Bellinger's situation. They're not going to. They want him back. He seemed like a really popular guy in the clubhouse. By the way, in the live YouTube chat, Kevin Pickett says he got his Cubs Sweet Emotion shirt today for renewing the Die Hard subscription.
Shout out to you, Kevin.
Big time shout out, Kevin. And of course, by being a diehard, he gets access to everything that Ryan is writing.
He's getting access to that. He's getting access to everyone freaking out in the Discord today.
Yep.
He's getting
access to the free shirt.
The free shirt.
Access to the Die Hard card.
Yeah. You can slap down that Die Hard card down at any bar in Wrigleyville or wherever you're at, man. And they'll free drinks on Stuckey. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Ryan, have you seen Cody Bellinger? Have you seen him around? Are you just staking out his home in the Phoenix area?
Constructed a roadblock in front of the, when you are driving down the street and seatbelt checks and stuff like that with the cops, they stop you, they check the seatbelt, make sure you're good and let you go. That's what I've been doing right in front of the Cubs complex on the street, just stopping every car, looking in the back seat. Oh no, Cody Bellinger. Okay. No, so I haven't seen him yet. Obviously I'll update you when I do, but he is not, I guess as far as I know, he's not in Mesa, Arizona right now.
By the way, did you see that Cody took advantage of one of your clips and clipped off PCA saying
it wasn't
Cody,
Ryan's, but
it wasn't Ryan. Cody is my
Marquise.
friend.
Yeah.
Cody is my friend.
PCA said that Cody is his friend, and he could be talking about Cody Bellinger. He could be talking about me.
That's right.
But he didn't confirm. So facts. Me and PCA are best friends. People are saying.
So
let the people know they don't know in Mesa.
People or person. People or person.
A lot of people talking about Cody these days. There's no denying.
There's no denying.
There's no denying. This is a fact.
Okay.
I was watching Raw on Monday. People were chanting Cody.
Lots of
on
people
Raw.
talking about
Right.
Cody these days. Lots of people saying Cody, talking about Cody, questioning what about Cody? Where's Cody?
It continues to be the year of the Codys in 2024.
Don't forget about the Cody crybabies.
You wrote about Cody Bellinger, correct?
I did write a little bit about Cody Bellinger last night, or this morning. So
What do you got coming for us maybe tonight or tomorrow morning?
I think we're recapping some of what Jed and Carter and Craig Counsell said today. It's start of spring training, man. A lot of, like I said, a lot of guys are happy to be here. A lot of guys are confident in what they got around him. But and I take this back to the Jed quote that I tweeted out earlier that people are very angry about saying what he said at the Cubs convention that they were about the fourth or fifth inning of the offseason, and today he said the closer's definitely warming up. I think people are reading a little bit too much into that. I think we can look at it and say, were they in the fourth or fifth inning timing wise of the offseason at Cubs convention? Sure. Has it gotten deeper into the game and they're maybe in the eighth inning now? yeah, it's the start of spring training. Of course, they're later on in spring. Of course, they're later on in the off season because now spring training has started. So, again, I think maybe people are reading into it a little bit too much. But it's also, hey, even if it's the bottom of the 8th and you got the closer warming up, that doesn't mean you can't tack on a couple of runs. So,
what a tease for our second segment. Completely setting up our second segment. Perfectly done, Ryan. Any other nugget you want to throw at us before we let you go?
Jan Gomes, I forgot to mention this earlier, but he actually caught Shota Imanaga's bullpen today. And he, again, another guy that was really impressed, talking about we've talked about how Shota Imanaga, guys that have gotten a chance to meet him, are talking about how kind of outgoing he is, his personality and stuff like that. Jan had kind of said he hasn't really gotten a ton of chances to interact with him, but he did catch the bullpen hit Imanaga's bullpen, talked about how impressive it was, same as a lot of these other people. And I also, as I mentioned earlier, we talked to Tommy Hotovy, who was there for Imanaga's entire bullpen. So a little bit on that coming up soon as well.
Can I make a request?
Oh.
It may not be granted, but let's hear it.
I am asking for Michael Busch content in the written form or video form. That's what I'm asking for. Okay. Perhaps both. I need some Michael Busch content. I am determined to turn Barb into Michael Busch's biggest fan.
Yeah. I'll see what I could do. I already fulfilled Brendan's request for some Dansby and Nico content earlier today. So,
I saw that.
Right. Now we're looking for Mike Busch.
Yeah.
Mike Busch content. All right.
We'll put it on the to-do list.
All right. Thanks,
Credit
Ryan.
to you.
That is Ryan. I like to wear Hawaiian Herrera. Live from Sloan Park. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Make sure you sign up to be a diehard so you don't miss any of that stuff. By the way, Cody, tell us about our friends over at a Game Time, because I know you use it all the time.
I use it all the time during the baseball season. I've used it already this year. I'm going to the Justin Timberlake concert at United Center later this summer.
Bringing Sexy back.
I'm going to Journey and Def Leppard at Wrigley Field this summer. I'm going to a concert at Chicago Theater in May.
You're going to the Def Leppard one?
I am.
Ooh, I kind of am jealous on that.
I am.
A little hysteria. Pour some sugar on me.
We could still go to John Mellencamp if you want in March. If you want to.
That's still a thought. That is still a thought. I have to convince my wife that I can, because I've always wanted to see Mellencamp.
Yeah, my mom's.
And I've always wanted to see Def Leppard. I had a chance to see them at Tinley Park back in the day, and I didn't get to go.
Yeah. See, I love a lot of music. Yeah. All right. So, I was at Morgan Wallen last summer. I like it all. So anyway, I do it all at Game Time because, they're super fast. They're cheaper than most other resale sites, and their customer service is great. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Again, these tickets. I mean, March Madness is coming up here in a couple weeks. If Illinois somehow, some way finds their way into the Final Four, I'm gonna have to go on Game Time to get a ticket because
yes, you will,
because it will probably be super expensive anywhere else. But if I go on Game Time, it probably be a lot cheaper. All right, so Game Time
probably will be.
It will be. But, Game Time is going to save my ass if they somehow, some way get there. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total upfront so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. They're obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. They have deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find fast-minute seats. You get exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you pick the section and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. Tom Ricketts would love that, guys. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
So we said that the Die Hard membership is a great Valentine's gift. If you're looking for that last minute gift, you're like, oh, I forgot it's Valentine's Day. What can I do? I can't get to the store. Boom. The Die Hard membership. Or Charlie the Bacon Guy is based out of Woodridge, Illinois. You can do both. Match it up with a Die Hard membership and then look up Charlie the Bacon Guy based out of Woodridge, makes craft bacon and bacon jams in over 35 different flavors. Bacon and bacon jams, all naturally cured, preservative-free products, no ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process. Unlike most of the store-bought bacon, there's sodium ascorbate. What the heck is that? Ethrothorbate? I don't even know what that is. Not in Charlie's stuff. Vacuum sealed. Freezes perfectly. Bacon lasts in the package up to 60 days in the fridge. It'll last 5 minutes in your house. Bacon jam lasts 90 days in the fridge, up to 1 year in the freezer. It'll last maybe 30 seconds in your house. Check out the awesome merch they have. Beanies, hats, t-shirts, stickers, and coffee mugs. What's your favorite flavor? I'll tell you what. I like the original. That's enough for me. But I'm looking forward to trying the French toast. And raspberry chipotle? Wait a minute. There's another one I want to try. Bacon jam flavors, it's definitely the original. But mango habanero sounds pretty good too. Bacon jam goes perfectly on anything, right? Scrambled eggs, toast, crackers, burgers, big time improvement. Grilled cheese. We had somebody say pizza. Absolutely, pizza's the answer. Cinnamon rolls, why not?
Hell yeah. All of it. On the spoon?
Just straight from the spoon. That's the way to do it. The Bacon Vault, it's got all the flavors he's made in the past. If it's not currently available, give Charlie about 2 weeks and he'll make it for you. How's that for customer service?
I know.
But if you want some of those that are on there right now, I'm telling you, if you're trying to spice up your Valentine's Day a little bit, honey, I've got bacon jam, and I'm bringing it home.
Hell yeah, brother.
Starting now, you can save 10% on your order at charliethebaconguy.com when you use the code CHGO at checkout. You can pick it up, which is the most efficient way for you, or he can deliver it to you, meet you halfway, or even ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. Charlie the Bacon Guy. I heard he's going to be making a stop here in the next couple days at the office.
Can't wait.
And I was like...
Tuesday, to be exact.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday's the day.
I read that Slack.
Yeah.
I paid attention to that.
Tuesday's show is now called Charlie the Bacon Guy Day.
Well, I saw Luke. You were saying you're like, what was it? Oh, because we have a little surprise something. I don't want to spoil anything.
No, don't spoil it.
I'm not spoiling anything. But you
Can
were
we say Corey Crawford's going to be on the hockey show? Oh, he was already on it. We can say that now.
You said you were going to show up to the office that day at 4 a.m. though.
That's right.
Just for it.
Yep, just for the bacon. You can find him on Instagram, by the way, Charlie the Bacon Guy, Twitter, CZ the Bacon Guy, or his website, charliethebaconguy.com.
Hell yeah. So there was one other quote from Jed that we didn't use in the last segment. I feel like it'd be good to play to transition into the second segment.
Is that the one that Ryan was hinting about?
Yeah.
This one here?
It was about young players, yes.
Oh, Jed talking about the young players. Yeah.
So, Sarah, can you play that?
Do you have that one, Sarah, or is that one not there? No.
Well, it's that quote, but I did put a timestamp
that we thought I was maybe going to have in the first segment, but instead we talked about
if we didn't have it made.
No.
You can bring it. It's from our Twitter account. It's on our Twitter account too.
We'll get to it in a second. What Ryan was talking about was the Jed quote that had Twitter and the Discord all fired up, where he said, listen, if Cubs convention was the third or fourth inning or whatever he said at Cubs convention, they said, where are we now? He said, the closer's warming up on the offseason. And that led negativity in Cubs fandom.
It's been all been
right or wrong.
Yep.
To immediately say they're done. They're not getting Bellinger. This is a crap team. We lost Stroman, we lost Bellinger, and what we added was Imanaga and a prospect. Okay. I mean, if that happens, I personally, as a Cubs fan, will be disappointed that is the offseason. Now, other people are saying in the live chat, I'm not fired up. I agree with what Ryan's saying, and credit to me for agreeing with Ryan.
Right.
I think it's an overreaction. What are they going to say in the press conference? They're not going to say, well, we desperately need to get Bellinger back. It's only going to drive up the price. Mm-hmm. They can't admit that they're desperate to get Bellinger.
Right.
If they are.
Yeah, I mean,
this is how they got to play it. Boring.
Yeah. Sarah, that's the video. Go ahead and play this, and then I'll say what you're, or I'll go with what you're saying here.
Okay. All right. Let's hear
I'm excited about where we are as an organization. I think that we have a lot of good young veteran players on the team. I think we have a ton of young talent, and I'm probably more excited for this spring than most springs, just because we have so much young talent in camp, and that's what's really fun in this job, is watching those guys play, watching those guys develop. Young players, young talent. That's where the game is right now. That's the currency of baseball, and that's the part of the organization that gives me the most confidence, and I'm excited to watch those guys every day this spring.
Okay,
I'm excited about where we are.
I wanted to play that just because
context.
It is context. Yes, it's context because, yes, if you were to perhaps just see that and none of the rest of the press conference, and maybe just, and not even like the closer thing, like if you go read the replies to that video, everyone's, screaming about Bellinger and everything. And like, I get that. I know how to do social media, but my thing is it's along the lines of what you were saying, Luke. Like, they just never reveal anything in these press conferences. Like, I don't know what anyone expected him to say, but if you perhaps saw that video and took that into some sort of, like, put that into context where they're talking about young players and how he's excited about young players and all this and that, I think there's fair thought on, it's fair to have some criticism on that based off just him saying that, while the fact that they know that from a fan perspective, they know that fans are restless. They know that all that, but
Jed doesn't care about that.
I know Jed doesn't care, and they shouldn't care. Honestly,
maybe Tom and Crane care about it, but Jed shouldn't care about it.
I honestly don't want the front office to care about what fans are saying or thinking. I want them to do things based off what they think is right for the organization. But to me, when you mix in comments like that and the fact that Bellinger is still out there, these other three Boris guys are still out there, and the team their biggest move of the offseason is Craig Counsell. You know what I mean? Like, we all kind of expected this team to be playoff caliber this year. And listen, I could sit here and talk myself into 85 to 90 wins with what we got. I can. I'm a delusional idiot. I know this, all right? But at the same time, like, I don't blame fans for overreacting, and I also think that you need to step back at the same time. Like, it's to me, it's warranted because this organization hasn't proved in recent years that they're serious. Like, honestly, in the recent years, they haven't proved that they're serious about winning. They haven't won a playoff game in 7 years. They haven't made the playoffs in a 162 game season since 2018. Right? Like, it's
all fair.
It is fair to have criticism, and it is fair to be massively annoyed. Right? That all said, though, I hate to say it, guys, but we just got to continue to ride this out. I still think Bellinger is going to be here. I put my flag stand in the ground since November.
Planted your flag.
I planted the flag, and I believe that the longer this goes on, that he's gonna be a Cub. No other team has jumped out there and offered a massive overpay. Sure, a team could. But I don't see it. I really don't see it. So again, I'm not here to tell y'all how to fan. I'm not here to tell y'all that you should think this way or that way. But what I am saying is, you can be annoyed, you can be upset that we're going into spring training and the Cubs, in short terms, haven't made the big move that we all expected, but doesn't mean it still can't happen. So, I don't know. I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. Like, if you want to think that they're not going to do anything, like, Near, and I've been reading your comments all this entire show, man. Like, you're clearly as pessimistic as anyone in this chat right today. Like, I get it. But on the flip side, DFW, Susie, Gary, like, I see y'all trying to have some hope. Like, I'm not going to tell y'all how to fan. I'm not going to tell y'all what to do, but I think there has to be some sort of middling ground here. Like you have to look at it through the lens of what we're given. They're never going to reveal anything in these press conferences, man.
That's the key.
I take it all with a grain of salt.
It's because if we get to the point that the games start and the team is exactly as it looks right now, without another major addition, everything that's being said by fans that are frustrated and negative is fair game to me. But right now, this is a negotiation. And I just don't see what they could have said that would have helped them in that negotiation. I don't see what the play would have been in, hey, I'm going to tell the fans we're going hard after Bellinger. I don't see how that benefits his negotiation, if there is one, with any free agent that still might be out there that's good.
Yeah.
So they have to, in my eyes, they have to play this press conference as bland, vanilla, hey, we like the young guys. Yeah. However, when this season starts on opening day, if the press conference is out there and they haven't made the addition, or 4 big guys signed somewhere else and we're 2 weeks into Cactus League games and somebody's not on the Cubs, those same questions should and will come. Mm-hmm. And then if that happens, then I expect the chat to be spinning like out of control.
Yeah. Hey,
I won't disagree with it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like if one of those 4 guys, and we're talking in all seriousness, we're talking about Cody Bellinger, Matt Chapman, or Jordan Montgomery. They're not in on Blake Snell. Like that would be very surprising. But if one of those 3 aren't a Chicago Cub come opening day and they're signed somewhere else, then I don't blame fans for, screaming in our YouTube chat. I don't blame fans for, not wanting to, go buy Cubs merch. I won't be able to blame fans for not wanting to do that. The Cubs will simply just have to prove that their investment on young guys is going to work. Because I've said this before. I don't care how you win. I really don't. But if you win, it cures everything. I would love to see PCA, Matt Shaw, Cade Horton, Michael Bush, Christopher Morel, Nico Horner, and Ian Happ, Suzuki, and whoever else I'm forgetting. I would love to see them fuck around and make the playoffs. I would love to see it. Genuinely, I would. But man, you're asking a lot out of some guys who haven't proved jack shit to, make this team playoff caliber. And listen, I know going into last year, a lot of people thought that team would win 70 games, and maybe they would have won more games if September didn't happen and they didn't have some injury problems and stuff. But in general, they were better than what a lot of people thought. So I'm willing to, kind of give a little leeway there, but let's be real. Like when you look at this lineup, a lot of us are optimistic that Seiya Suzuki can put together a full 162 this year. A lot of us are optimistic that Nico Horner will take a step offensively this year. A lot of us are optimistic that, PCA will make an impact on this team. A lot of us are optimistic that Michael Bush will take control of first base. A lot of us are optimistic about a bunch of guys, but it's optimism. It's delusional Cubs fandom, right? Like, though a lot of those guys haven't proved enough. Even Nico Horner hasn't proved enough, offensively at least, that he can be a reliable guy who drives and runs. He can set the table for you. Led the team in hits last year. He stole 40 bases. I think what Nico Horner is. Maybe there is a way that he can become a better hitter for sure. He's still young. I still think there's more there. Ryan has said that on our show too. But is he a guy that's going to drive and runs for you on a consistent basis? No, we just know that. Unless he completely proves it, there's just no way. So to me, it's the Cubs. If they don't do what they need to do here, I mean, we're going to be sitting here talking about trade deadline in July, in my opinion.
Everybody's saying Cap's going to roast Jed if it doesn't happen. Everybody's going to.
Yeah, we will too.
We all know that they still need at least one big bat in this lineup. Yeah, absolutely. And frankly, they might need more than that.
I named all those dudes,
but it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
I named all those dudes, and if you add Cody Bellinger to that, and some of those guys actually do take a step, like a Nico Horner, like a Seiya Suzuki,
bonus,
then it's just added bonus. Like, that's why you bring him back. The discourse related to Bellinger these last 5 days, it's blown my mind. The team is better with Cody Bellinger on the team. That's point blank, period. It's better with Bellinger on the team. All right. So I'm with y'all that are frustrated, man. It's day 137 of the Cody Bellinger free agency experience, man. Like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. But
we'll do it again tomorrow.
Like, give at least take what happened in the press conference today with a grain of salt. You can be angry, you can be annoyed. I don't care. I can't control what y'all do. But if you're taking that press conference full steam, I think you're just setting yourself up to either look really stupid or you're just setting yourself up to be angry for no reason.
The Cubs would be better with Cody Bellinger on the team this year. My life is definitely better with CD1 Price Cleaners.
Ooh.
Low prices. Customers save over 30% on their dry cleaning bill by switching to CD1 Price Cleaners. Simple, transparent service. And the fast turnaround is what I love. There's one right in Arlington Heights. CD1 Price Cleaners has your order ready same day or the next day. That's either today or tomorrow. Other cleaners take 2 to 4 days, sometimes 5 to get your garments ready, clean them up. They also give you sweet text alerts at CD1 Price Cleaners. So when it's ready, they let you know. So you're not stopping by and wasting the trip over there. They're letting you know whether it's today or tomorrow. Hey, here's your stuff. They dry clean. They do wash and fold laundry. They do blankets, comforters. They do tailoring and alterations. They do leather cleaning, area rug cleaning. Visit chgo.cd1, that's one.com. Link in the description. Once you're there, you can pick up from an in-store coupon or online pickup or delivery coupon options. They do great stuff. Now, I still see gas prices, and I think to myself, I got to get in on this electric thing. And it's also getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles. That's something we can get behind, whether it's us for the health of the planet or just the well-being of all of us who live on the planet,
Right. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence toward an electric tomorrow. Whether you have a one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense, Stuck.
So what should business owners do?
Well, they should go to ComEd.com/clean. I know we're all screaming about all these other things, but we got to remember, ComEd.com/clean is where you need to go. All right? To learn more about the resources, the fleet rebates, the infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait, Luke. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Now, just confirming, that's ComEd.com/clean?
Yes, ComEd.com/clean. Yes, go there now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come. We got 48 likes, and I know over 100 people watching. 138 people watching, 48 likes. We even got a thumbs down.
It's not right.
Credit to you.
That's like forgetting Valentine's Day, which, by the way,
at the very least, hit the like button for us because we're here to talk it out. I know, again, today is probably one of the more toxic days in the YouTube chat. And listen, like I said, y'all can come here and say whatever you want as long as you're watching. But I feel like we're deserving of a like today.
What did everybody get for Valentine's Day? We sent some out there. We sent out our Cubs Valentines for you. Sarah made some great graphics up. If you're checking out our Twitter or Instagram, You Make Me Horner, baby. That's a very nice card, right?
Can I give credit where credit is due here, Luke? This one is Ian Happ. I'd be happy to be your Valentine.
Right.
Luke, you came up with like 90% of these.
In 10 seconds.
This is true.
I said we probably should have one that just says Richard Lovelady on it. It doesn't need anything else.
Glove Me.
Could have had any of the gold glovers for that one, right?
Yeah. Let Me Steal Your Heart. Justin Steele.
I don't know I didn't come up with that one. Somebody said that one. That's good.
I thought that was you.
Well,
I didn't come up with
credit to me. I'll say I took it.
Honestly, you should take all the credit, all right? We got a Morel one. Couldn't love you any Morel.
Oh, yeah.
Credit to
50
you.
home runs this year. Is that too much to ask? Love to see it.
Say ya love me.
Say you love me.
Say you love me.
Yeah, that's
And
40
then,
home runs for him.
Yeah.
You make my heart smiley.
You make my heart smile.
I hope we're saying that this season.
Yeah.
Oh, you make my heart smiley.
And finally, the one.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the one.
I can say that maybe I came up with this one. You're my MVP.
You're my
Cody
MVP,
Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger.
I am
We
praying. I'm praying, man.
Barb hit the thumbs up. How about that?
Credit to Barb. Credit to Barb. Godfather says he loves Tom Ricketts. Clip it.
What? Oh, Barb says son Tommy got her donuts and gummy bears.
Nice. Credit
That's
to Tommy.
Valentine's Day. Did I see Becky say something about Dad got her a wild boar or something? It was very early in the
wild
podcast.
boar?
Becky, what did you get? What did your dad get you for Valentine's Day? Dad bought me an apple fritter. No, something earlier. There was something earlier talking about.
I don't see it.
I'm telling you, I
maybe
didn't.
She was talking about Boris.
No.
I don't know.
Dad bought me an apple fritter. I think she changed it. I'm telling you, I didn't just imagine this.
Okay. Well, I didn't see it.
Becky,
anyway.
help me out. Anything, Becky? Becky, are you still there? She's still talking about Belly would look good in a Cubs uniform. Can't disagree with that.
Steven says he just showed up here at the end because we're about to end the show here. But, you can always rewatch it. All right. Thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it.
Roses, a card, and a stuffed pig.
Ah.
Don't tell me. I know.
Pig.
Thank you, Becky.
All right. Well done, Becky.
Very nice.
Well done.
It wasn't a wild boar. It was a stuffed pig. My bad.
So, we're going to do this again tomorrow, right?
Live at 3:30.
Tomorrow will be day
Live at
138 probably of the Cody Bellinger free agency experience. My favorite part so far is probably when we went to Nashville and I went on a nice long walk to Pro Bass with Luke Stuckmeyer.
Pro Bass shops.
To get a camera card or whatever for Steven. What a time it was. Other than that, it's
we were there before the guy jumped in the tank.
Yeah. Yeah, it was well before that.
We were not there when the guy was swimming in his birthday suit.
But just got to keep grinding through it. I think he's going to be a Cub. And when I'm wrong, you all can yell at me. I don't want to be like Greg Braggs and say you can throw meatballs at me, but you can all yell at me. If Cody Bellinger isn't a Cub, you can all yell at me.
Throwing meatballs, that would be kind of fun. Instead of a dunk tank. Big sloppy meatballs being chucked at you.
I mean, maybe he's waiting a sign for whenever I go out there next week. So,
yep.
I don't know.
I just hope my wife got me a Pro Bass gift card.
A Pro Bass gift card. If
and
anyone's missed the joke, it's just that Luke didn't pronounce it correctly.
I just flipped
we just
it
keep
backwards.
saying it.
I'm the only person that fishes on this podcast, so leave me alone. I'm old, and I need to do right donut. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody, including Richard Lovelady, and everybody in the live YouTube chat. Hit the like button on the way out. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. Back at 3:30 tomorrow. Another live report from Ryan Herrera at Sloan Park. Until then, fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.